Welcome back to a new video. So this is my Wednesday and Thursday training session. I also, out in the shed, recorded two different videos. One about the tier weightlifting shoes that you see me use for a couple weeks now, as well as one about knee wraps. So the three different ones I have from Hook Grip. So those will be two different videos that will most likely come out this week, or depending on how I stagger them. But have those recorded. Pretty simple videos, just my thoughts on the shoes and going over the knee wraps. Knee wraps one is a little bit longer, but that was in kind of not really directly requested, but something I realized I probably should do since I use them. And I have three different pairs, so I don't know how many people have all the different kinds of pairs, but Tony, a consistent commenter on the channel, had asked a question about those, so I figured I'd just go ahead and talk more in depth about those, since I could talk about weightlifting equipment and what I like forever. It's my special interest, as I mentioned in my reply, or at least if I didn't, at least that's what I was thinking. But in this session here, 122, I missed it the first time. Super close here on the second time. I think that was like if it was life or death, I could have done it, or like ran it forward, but I wanted to do a better rep, and I did on the third one. And really the big thing was just kind of mentally focusing up and going when I kind of counted to that 3 in my head, and just committing to the weight just a little bit more. I could have done it on the second rep. The first one was just a bad rep. Like, I just went early. Everything was bad about it. Second rep, I definitely could have done a little bit better, but it's really just committing to it and really trying to be aggressive underneath. And I was able to get on the third one. Honestly, the goal in this session was to get to 117. Wasn't even to get up to that 122. But ideally on Saturday, when I'm doing, I guess, like a competition, or I mean like a training max, I would get to 122, then 125, 28, then maybe 131, seeing how I feel. But clean jerks were pretty good. It was interesting, like that 130 there felt really bad. Like everything about it, the clean and the jerk just felt off. But knew that I had the strength in me to go up, so I went to 145. This rep felt pretty good. Definitely wasn't like hyper fresh, but been training hard this week, so kind of makes sense. But actually had enough confidence to this 155, and actually did it. It wasn't the prettiest rep, but was able to get it up, was able to successfully do it, and did some front squats. And you can see Rick in the background doing some squats. He peer pressured me into doing 180. The original plan was 175, and I was, in the back of my mind, I knew that if 175 went well, that I would try a little bit more. But Rick was basically saying that I should front squat every day up to 180, which I don't necessarily want to do, nor do I think it would be the most optimal thing, especially the way I'm built. It'd probably lead to some issues with my wrists and stuff. But the theme of more frequently front squatting is probably something I should do, particularly without doing large amounts of volume. Just working up on singles, I think, would benefit me. And particularly doing some light front squats with straps on to really hammer the mobility would be good as well. But did the 180. It was relatively easy. It just kind of slid down my front rack as I went up, but happy to be able to get it, and happy with the speed of it. This was my session from tonight, so very similar to Tuesday, and many of the lifts besides the snatch pulls I did at the end. We got up to 90 again in the power snatch. I definitely felt like I could have done a little bit more, but it didn't feel good enough for me to want to go up. And I think I could have done 100, but it would have been a really difficult lift. Overhead presses went similar as they did on Tuesday. Went up to 100 again. I felt like this 100 actually was one of my more strict ones. I'm still not, honestly, that's about as strict as it's ever going to get, but quite happy with how that moved. Went on the push presses. And strangely, so the push press, I did the same jumps as I did on Tuesday, 110 and then 125. I kind of, quote unquote, missed the power clean with 125. I just did a full clean. It didn't feel weird. Sometimes when I miss a power, it's in a weird position, like my feet are too wide or whatever, but I just didn't really try to power it, I guess. I just kind of, as I was turning over, I was like, we're just going, we're just doing a clean. And push press went well. It's starting to be a more routine weight, which is kind of exciting. It's kind of a similar fashion as the 100 kilogram presses, where it's more of the routine weight that I'm trying to get to where I can just do it every time I push press, so that I can take more cracks at PR attempts and get to that 300 pound push press, which I still need to get to. And I think that I'm pretty close to being able to get, to even 140 in the push press. I think that's going to be something I'm able to do this year. But those are some snatch pulls and then some snatch deadlifts I did. Somehow 240 just moved even easier than 235, and I don't really understand. I guess the only reason that maybe they're moving really well or I'm able to PR it 2 weeks in a row is just I didn't try to PR it for like a year. And for the longest time, like 227 or 500 pounds was my best snatch grip deadlift, and it was like a true snatch grip deadlift, like super high hips. Like it did not move very easy. It was a very, very difficult lift. And the fact that like now I can do 240 like that and it not move like hyper easy, but like positionally like not too bad is kind of weird. But I guess I always get confused when my pulls go well, and I don't know why. They always do. So I should just accept that basically no matter what I do in training, my pulls, whether it's a normal deadlift, a pull snatch deadlift like I did this day, or any sort of variation, is just going to improve. But really 2 productive sessions, but also be on the lookout for the tier weightlifting shoe review, as well as the knee wrap, kind of a review, or just kind of like my thoughts with the 3 different kinds of knee wraps that I have and kind of how I view them. But those will be coming out this week or early next week, depending on when I upload them. But anywho, that's it for this one. Have a great run, and yeah, talk to you all in the next one. Peace.